going to keep us busy. We are live. We are live. This is Senate Finance. This is Wednesday, April 1st. And we are going to continue to walk through bills that are been referred to us. And today we're going to take up 733, an act relating to designating a franchise relationship. And we have Representative Nicholas with us, and you were the sponsor.
I was a reader.
Okay, Senator, so come on up and just tell us what motivated this bill.
I guess. So one of the things we've been working on in House Commerce is looking at a variety of different non-compete clauses. And this bill was born out of possibly looking at non-compete clauses specifically for franchise owners. Because they may deal with a certain amount of different, there are certain dynamics in a franchise that you wouldn't see in a traditional business. As we've gotten to talking about it, we've realized that we really don't know what businesses are franchises and what aren't in the state of Vermont. So what we did is we didn't feel like we had enough information to start regulating non-competes without knowing exactly what we were talking about. So we stripped down the bill and just basically turned the bill into a situation where it would now be required when you go to the Secretary of State's office, you have to check whether it's a franchise or not. And if it is, then the name of the franchisor and whether you're a franchise or a franchisee. That's pretty much it. The point of it is we wanted to start to build a database of businesses we know were franchises. And then maybe in 26 or whatever, reach out, or 27, 28, reach out and find out, maybe get a little better testimony on who's, what kind of problems are you dealing with non-competes and things like that.
Okay.
That's pretty much it.
Okay. Sounds simple enough. I hope we can get it out of here simply.
Yeah, and it's a simple enough one. I mean, it could be combined with something else if you want to put it in. I mean, it's not all that big, so.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
This started out as a bill about non-compete clauses?
Correct.
And how did the franchise thing come into effect? Wasn't it non-compete across all businesses?
This bill was specific to franchise.
Okay, so franchises, just as an example, like
a McDonald's or something.
there was non-compete between franchises. So
Right,
if you worked in the Middlebury McDonald's, you would have a non-compete clause with the Burlington McDonald's.
Well, yeah, I mean, just to clarify, it's more about the franchise or franchisee, because in a lot of situations, the franchisor will make a franchisee owner sign a non-compete clause. Maybe the franchise doesn't work out, and now they can't work.
It's not between the employees, it's between the owners of the franchise.
Correct.
I see, okay.
You can't give up your McDonald's and go set up a Burger King across the street.
Exactly. And we've heard stories. I mean, we don't know, obviously, that is part of the point, but some of these franchisors are they're forcing you to use their equipment and charging ridiculous amounts of money for the equipment. Some of them are forcing franchisees to buy their product from them, different things like that. And that's why we felt it was important to take a look at this, but we wanted to make sure we knew fully what we were dealing with before we went too much further.
Okay. Questions, committee? Thank you. That's clear. Let's hope we don't mess it up there.
We have plenty of time for that.
Yeah, we know.
And an agenda.
Yeah, Rick, come on up if you want to walk us through this.
Good afternoon. I'm Rick Staples with the Office of Legislative Counsel. I feel like I either have bills that are 1 page or 100 pages in this committee.
Well, that seems to be the
This is,
plight of this committee. Too.
it's actually a 2-page bill, front and back. So a couple of points Senator Hardy asked about the originality of the bill. So there may be some confusion. As introduced, this bill would have regulated franchise in many ways, not these with the
No.
There's another bill in House Congress, H205, that was a specific non-compete on franchises and on employment.
Okay, I think that's the one I was.
That bill was sitting in Congress.
Okay.
It didn't exit that committee, got recommitted to that committee. So this bill, very simple. It's very limited in what it's doing. And the intent may be to eventually, once we see the landscape of franchises in Vermont, is to then regulate the franchises. But all this is doing is when a business, and I can reach in the bill, but when they make a filing, which could be when they register with the state, when they file a report, when they file an amendment, when they do a filing, they will be asked, are you a franchise or a franchisee? There'll be a box, and David Hall here, he can explain how it may work. You'll click the box, and then if you are a franchisee, you will type in the name of your franchisor. So if you're A&B Burger Company, but you're McDonald's, that's your franchisor, you would type in McDonald's as your franchisor. That would give the Secretary of State and then you all kind of a better idea of how many franchisees stores you have in the state. And is there just a number of franchisors with one or two franchisees each, or is it a different number altogether? So that's really all this is doing. There's no extra fee. There's no really any other requirement except that you type in, you click a box, and David Hall can explain how it would work. And the effective date being July or January 1st is to give them time to update their system, because there will be some work on their end to ensure that the system can accommodate this new question when you file something.
I think if you tighten up your spacing, this could be a one-page bill.
Madam Chair, it could be.
Yeah.
That's my releasing one.
It's the font, come on, did you not go to college?
We are high to the back of this, and I would get slapped by a drafting officer if I submitted something.
But you're killing trees for some reason.
I'm surprised this came here and not economic development. It seems odd.
It's.
I mean, come on, Bloomer.
I've given up trying to understand some of the referrals, but this is probably financial regulation of businesses or in the underlying bill, which I gather was much larger.
This is just a check a box on a form.
Yeah,
bill.
yeah. So any questions on this humongous bill? Thank you.
Sure.
Okay, David. One up. Don't throw a wrench in this.
I didn't bring any wrenches with me. Good afternoon, David Hall, Director of the Business Services Division, Secretary of State's Office. Can't seem to pull this up. I'm not sure if it's the site or if it's me. But it's only one page, so
Yeah.
it's not a lot. It's 733, right? Oh,
Yeah.
good. I'm in the right place.
Yep.
Yes. So I mean, this is Secretary of State's office because we'd be the one administering the checkbox, if you will. It's structured so that basically anytime you come back to our online system, you're supposed to let us know. It goes into your database record. It wouldn't go into necessarily your, your filing document, like your articles of organization wouldn't say I'm a franchisor or a franchisee. It would just be part of our data collection. Envision this being a sort of a other kind of last step in the process where people will answer questions that you all want them to answer, such as, are you a franchisor? Do you provide education technology software? Other things in the
What do you tell
future.
us you're a franchisee,
Yeah.
so we can regulate you?
Yeah, basically. I want to, as Rick indicated, there's no fee change, there's no appropriation. It's incumbent upon me to say for the record that there is a cost associated with this. We think we can absorb it, for now, and, probably will take this simple little bill, right? That's what we always say. We'll probably take 5 months of work on the IT side to build a new step in the flow to make sure the coding works with the rest across the system. You know, doesn't turn anybody's hair blue in some other filing module. So we can do it. It'll take a little time. We'll have it by January. Should be good. The data is going to have a lag. You know, so all new people who come will answer the question. But people who already exist will answer the question either when they file an amendment or they come back for the annual reporting season or some other document. So I give it 6-9 months. You probably have a pretty good portfolio of who is what.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. And now we know why it's here, because there is a potential for a future fee if it gets costly or becomes difficult. We have gotten a slew of those this year. But at this point, there is no fee. You think you can do it without a whole lot of angst. It would provide some information necessary for us to know what is happening in the business community. Some things that have national names are fairly obviously franchises, but we may find out there's franchises that don't use the same name. That we may find out things we don't know. So,
Nice.
Yeah.
And for your checking boxes,
Yeah.
is there anything else that we might want information on that we should add to this?
I'm agnostic on the information. I just build it. It's, are you a franchisee, franchisor? No. And then if you click the yes box, the franchisee, as it's currently constituted, with call for you to enter the franchisor, not the other way around. So that allows the franchisees to report with whom they have that relationship. I mean, there are other bills with other constructs that sort of contemplate, you know, more data gathering in our division. And I think, you know, we're probably the only place besides tax in state government that has some nexus to almost all businesses that operate. So I suppose it makes sense that we are the registry people. We have the capability to collect that data. And, you know, we are in the market for a really cool visualization tool, a business data as a service tool that would help aggregate and then slice and dice and present our data better. So we could be looking down the road at more voluntary reporting, woman-owned businesses, business by county, business by industry. Our creativity is the limit, or your creativity is the limit.
Okay.
But for this build, I don't have any more to
Okay.
add to it.
Well, I was just thinking, if you're gonna go through this process of updating the flow,
Mhm.
then we might as well,
Right.
you know, have you do it once, right?
Sure.
Every year, one little checkbox that we add.
Yeah, it's a great thought. I anticipate building this in anticipation of that. So like I said, it would be, if you go to any of our modules or workflows for different kinds of businesses, you'll see there's steps along the path. I would see this being the last step before you get to the review screen. And that's the place we nest these types of questions. That makes it easy for people to whom it doesn't apply. They can just ignore it and keep going. But, you know, right now it's franchisees. Maybe tomorrow, like I said, it's ed tech software providers. Maybe it's green businesses. Maybe it's solar companies. I don't know.
once we find out about the franchise,
Right.
depending on what we find out.
Yep.
We may say, oh, well, we need to refine that or get more.
Mhm.
But at this point, it's all we're looking for. Because we don't know
Mhm.
what's out there or how many and.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah. So this will be that framework, and then we can expand with
So
more
you could
details.
easily add another checkbox.
Yeah. Yes.
okay.
You see the wheels turning. I got some more checkboxes in the future.
I have no idea. I'm just thinking we might as well save some time, money.
Fair.
Okay, any other questions for anyone? Committee, I'm gonna put this on for a vote.
We're gonna make Matos report it.
Yeah, well, and I'm not gonna vote it today. I give it at least 24 hours, but I may put that on for a vote tomorrow, or at least by Friday. Before we get ourselves into trouble, so, thank you.
Good to see you all. I'm sure I'll
Yeah.
see you again. Though, not in the next 2 weeks. If you need me in the next 2 weeks, you better call Warren. I won't be here.
Oh,
Take care.
Have fun wherever you're going.
I want to see my daughter in Ireland.
Oh, nice. Safe travels.
my kids just went to Russia. That I didn't get to go to
No, Ireland.
Oh,
They're not in Russia.
No.
No, Russia and Senegal, though, that's wow. Two war zones right now.
college. 6 months in Siberia. The one is peaceful. Okay, let's,
Take it where it goes.
yeah. All right, we are not scheduled for anything until 2:30. That did not take the amount of time we thought it would. We got miscellaneous tax today. Between that and 585, we did yesterday, looks like they took 3 insurance bills and put them together. We're gonna separate them out and we'll take testimony on each one separately. I'm trying to remember what they were when we get them up. One is the reworking of the Blue Cross Blue Shield Board of Directors. I've already asked
One, two.
Blue Cross and Blue Shield to come in. But anybody else you would like to hear from on that one?
I don't know if you want to hear from them, but Planned Parenthood sent an email, and I think they made a pretty good case to be concerned about this appointment. So of adding government politically appointed positions to a nonprofit.
If it wasn't clear yesterday, I have reservations about that precedent.
Do you think they're an association, umbrella association that represents nonprofits in Vermont or something like that?
Yeah, there isn't, yes,
That's complicated.
Common good,
Common
Vermont.
Good.
Yeah,
yeah,
they also emailed us, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay.
Frankly, it's
So-
more of a risk with nonprofits, because so often nonprofits are socially or ideologically grounded. And as a result, I think that you're in a greater likelihood of having bias in the board that's appointed by most of the nonprofits that we have here.
So we will hear from them. We'll definitely hear from Blue Cross.
Yeah.
I don't know if the governor would like to talk, or his people would like to talk to us. We can send Jason Malucci a note and ask if anyone would like to talk to
I
us.
had Kyle yesterday. He's the guy that's running.
Yeah.
What else? There was a little, I think, technical correction to prior auth bill. I know with the and I know those things have been being negotiated, trying to keep our second healthcare provider in here.
If you're jumping around on
Yeah.
the bill, I think we got an email from Representative North, and you wanted to talk about an amendment to this bill, to section 11,
Which,
Okay.
to which bill? But it was section 10.
section 10.
Section
So
10.
H5, this is,
He said it.
The bill that we just did?
no, H585, the bill we're talking about right now.
Oh, sorry,
Insurance, 3 bills in one.
Yeah.
So I don't even know what section 10 is, but
Okay. And then we have association health plans.
but you raised the concern about the lawsuit that's going through, that's the one.
That's the one. I think I did some of the history yesterday, but they were, and then they were outlawed. And then Trump one put them back in. And they were so loose, basically, people in Vermont could form an association health plan with people in California. And it was a lot of the short-term duration health plans. And we spent a lot of time trying to put some guardrails around that. And we're just coming to where we were going to have to make a decision about allowing them, which no matter which way we went would be extremely painful for one or the other group. And the federal government said, nope, they're not going to be allowed in general. And we were off the hook. Apparently, those limited circumstances have remained in play. I think we heard here it was the Car Dealers Association, but you have to have a much tighter association than just being a member of the Chamber of Commerce. Colorado, they said, had opened it up to just general associations, anticipating that federal government was going to open it up. They are in court. I'm a little probably gun shy of trying to do this again until the lawsuit or the federal regulations are set, given kind of the erratic. I'd much rather try to do some work on the impact that we're seeing in the exchange in health insurance. And I had hoped this bill was going to reflect some of the work that's been going on in health and welfare, and it doesn't. Yeah. This has a market. Okay, section 6 is the coding rule. There's a change that's been a work in progress. Site neutral reimbursement for physical therapy. We will have the physical and the occupational therapist in. It sounds like any facilities is separate from the base charge, but
What is, this is for physical therapists?
therapists,
Oh.
if you go to the rehab gym, which has a soaking pool and, all right, they have physical therapists, that I'm not sure they have athletic trainers. You can go there, but they get paid. A couple of years ago, we got them their first raise in 10 years from the insurance companies, but they're competing in an open market for physical therapists, and they, like many agencies, can't afford to compete with the hospitals that are getting that facilities fee plus higher rates. So there is a physical therapy association, and I know the rehab gym would be happy to come in and talk to us, and we'll take some more on that, but I don't think that's commercial. Yes, and then section 10. That's the healthcare sharing plans. They're here. They talked to me yesterday morning. I'm pretty sure it was them who wanted to talk to me again yesterday afternoon. They were sitting here. There's a gentleman from Knoxville, Tennessee with them. He bought James Brown's radio station. And
James Brown.
James Brown, and he, I think they introduced him as a member of the Health Insurance Committee in the Tennessee legislature. He was here visiting yesterday. We did look at a less extensive registry. This is pretty extensive, and I'm pretty sure they're going to have checked. We didn't. And is this one they also said there had been a lawsuit on?
Yes, they did.
I thought so. And last
All right.
time was this the one in non-association plans?
I think so. In Colorado, we're waiting for it to be resolved. We'll be
We
soon.
will take some testimony, but last time this came through, we didn't pass it, I believe, with the advice and consent of DFR, being concerned that once they registered and sent information, they could bill themselves, and tell people, well, the Department of Financial Regulation looks at all our numbers and give them more legitimacy than I think many people are willing to give them. The bottom line is there's no requirement that they have reserve funds, that they have any financial oversight on their ability to pay claims. At least one large one, I believe in Boston, went belly up a number of years ago. And here your insurance company goes belly up. There is a fund so that until another insurance company will take over, that all insurance companies pay into, but there is protection if something goes wrong here. There isn't with them. So that's the one in there. And if that's where the suit is, I'd just soon not do it. And I guess we're gonna have to look at association.
I think that's what Representative Mark wants.
Representative Morse. Okay. Okay. So, I think probably the most difficult, well, the one to which there are no really good answers is the association plan one. It could offer help to some of the folks that have dropped off, depending off the exchange, depending on. Sometimes employers will offer insurance, if it's reasonable enough. So in that case, it could help. But I think it's the Blue Cross Blue Shield board that might. So we know the nonprofits want to talk to us. It does precedent. We do, the government does put several representatives on the PSAC board, but that is a board that deals with the moral credit of the state, not the full faith and credit, but the moral obligation. It's a semi-government organization. It is not an independent business. So, let me know who you hear from and who would like to speak with. We will do that. And okay, we are out then until 2:30. I can't get used to this.
I think